My name's Sam Leach. I'm an artisan baker and also an occasional food writer. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about artisan food and what it means, how it's relevant and how it's, I think, useful. Artisan is a word that you see a lot, especially these days. It's a great marketing tool. You'll see it, I'm sure, I haven't looked around yet, but I'm sure you'll see it all over the place in here. And it seems to be sort of one of those buzzwords like local or organic that you can just slap on a product and charge an extra 10 quid for. But what is the actual value of artisan food? Does everyone think that it is inherently better? No. One person thinks it's inherently better. I don't think it's inherently better. I think the difference is, basically artisan food is food that's been made by skilled craftsmen, not just somebody's hands being involved in the process, but somebody with knowledge and skill doing something with their hands in a traditional way. And that's what's important, really, because if you're just comparing the hands, if you take my hands as an example as a baker, I can probably, at my very fastest, I can shape a loaf of bread in about 4 seconds. If you take a bread shaping machine, it will shape a loaf of bread, just a small one, not even a big one. It will shape a loaf of bread in about a second. And if you take a big one and, a factory the size of this hall, they'll be able to shape probably like 1 million loaves a day on that order, okay? And basically that factory would probably be run by, 10 people or something, pushing buttons. If we're on a Saturday in our little shop, if we make maybe, 600 odd loaves, some buns and croissants and things like that, and we'd have 3 people. So you can see there straight away the difference in terms of employment. And this is really what the thrust of it, because we're going to take as read that artisan food is better because it's harder, because it's in a way pointless. No one needs to make food by hand. There's no need to do it. And so someone would only do it because they think it's going to be better, okay? So because of that, we can put that to one side and say, yes, it is better. And what I want to talk to you really today is about the difference between those 10 people pressing buttons, making 1 million loaves of bread, and the 3 people want to sell and probably one extra person to help out, making 600 loaves of bread in a day. The difference there really is employment and fulfillment. Somebody working in a factory, operating a machine, essentially what you're doing is you're taking out of the process the skill and the knowledge and the physical movement and the kind of engagement with the product, and you're baking bread, just as Andrew was just talking about, it's baking bread by accountants, it's not baking bread by bakers. Someone who works for Hovis isn't a baker, they're a factory worker, just as someone is a factory worker if they work for any other sort of food, sort of industrial-based food product, because there's no kind of extra engagement there, there's no skill, there's no pride that says, this is better, this is how I want it done. So that's one thing, and that's why I love my job, and that's why artisans always love their jobs, because it's good, it's fulfilling, it's fun, and you're doing something worthwhile and good. But I keep digressing. Basically, what I'm trying to talk about is the difference between employing 10 people to make 1 million loaves of bread and 3 people to make 600 loaves of bread, is that if we could apply that across the whole spectrum, not just to baking, but to brewing, to butchery, to fishmongering, to winemaking, to farming, all of these things have become industrialised and mechanised. And because of this, it sounds nice, doesn't it, having everything done by robots so we can sit back and relax. But it's not very relaxing when you're sitting back and unemployed. And that's the reality of it. The reality is, the more we mechanise food production, the more we take humans out of it, the more people we have unemployed, the more people are on the dole, the more people who aren't contributing in terms of tax to the economy. And to be honest, that is a really big factor in the global economic crisis. Now, what's the answer? Well, governments say a lot that small businesses, start-up businesses, the answer. They employ a lot of people, they're good, they encourage growth. And that's fine, that's true. But what they're talking about is small start-up businesses that are going to become enormous businesses, and then they'll cut out all their staff because they'll mechanise it, they'll streamline it, they'll become more economic, more efficient, and that just means job losses. And then ultimately that's good for the shareholders, and it's bad for the country, and it's bad for the employees. So the answer is really encouraging small businesses, encouraging artisan businesses. I haven't finished it, don't worry. And you can do that by just going to shops. You can come to our little shop, Mark's Bread, on North Street. You can go to your local butchers, you can shop around in here today, and that's useful. But what really annoys me, and what I'm here to rant about, because really so far it's just been a positive message for the future, what I'm really here to rant about is the way that government treat this, and local government and national government, because they say that they want small businesses, they say they want to encourage startups, but all they're really doing is just a few sort of lib-wristed handouts, or you get a little tax break on your new business, you have to pay your rates for a little bit, or you know, sort of, they say that they're encouraging it, but really the enemy of small businesses is big businesses. And if you're encouraging big businesses, you're never going to encourage small businesses. So every time a supermarket opens, and in Bristol I heard the other day that we've got more supermarkets per head than any other city in Britain. I actually think that's really disappointing. It's disappointing, it's really depressing. Because I always thought of Bristol as being a great place, everyone was keen and interested, engaged in local businesses, everyone, you know, it's a slightly left field place perhaps. But that's not true at all. All these supermarkets, one supermarket replaces probably 10, 15, maybe 20 local shops. One person working in a supermarket, being efficient, being streamlined, is replacing, I don't know, 3 jobs, perhaps 4, even 4 maybe, elsewhere. And it's our fault, it's your fault for shopping in supermarkets, it's my fault every time I think, I'll just get some chips from Asda, you know, or I'll get some, I don't know, shit cider rather than going to St. Peter at the cider shop. It's all of our fault, but it's also the council's fault. It's the council's fault for saying yes to Sainsbury's, even though it's a completely ridiculous plan that nobody needs. It's the council's fault for saying, yeah, all right, we'll open a Tesco Metro next to St. Nick's Market, and then we'll open another one 100 metres away, and then we'll open another one, because we seem to need one on every single street. Even though we've got a market there, a market that sells food and could be encouraged to sell more food. If you'd opened up these markets and you made it easier for people to trade, and you actually encourage people and you discourage the big businesses, this is what's going to make a difference. And I don't think councils quite understand this, or maybe they don't, I don't know, maybe they don't know, maybe they don't care, or maybe they're just getting quite nice handouts from the supermarkets every time they say, oh yeah, go on, open up there. Because this is the crux of the matter. People are lazy, I'm just as lazy as everyone else. And if there's a shop right here, right next to me, I'll go and shop in it rather than walking 200 or 300 metres to go and buy something from a small shop. I always do that, but I do sometimes, and I would say I'm pretty committed to local small businesses and to good quality food. And if I'm lazy, then somebody who's not really interested in food at all is going to be even more lazy. And so what I'm trying to say is it's everybody's fault. But if the government aren't going to do anything about it, and they're not, let's be honest, we have to, okay? So support people. Buy your bread in a bakery, buy your meat from a butcher, buy your veg from a greengrocer. All these things are available to us. You can buy your wine. We've got some excellent independent wine shops. We've got one excellent cider shop now. You can buy your beer straight from the producers. These things are easily available. All right, it's not so easy to get hold of rice, pasta, flour, these sort of things. But things you can do. Because if you don't, they won't be there anymore, and you'll have to go to a supermarket, you have to go to Tesco Metro, even though it's a horrendous, horrible, soulless experience that makes me want to shoot myself. Thank you very much.
Thank you.